Hello, you beautiful people. It's Suppoman. I thought I'd do a video because, and it has been a long time since I've done a video, but I wanted to explain really why I haven't been doing videos. Because there's been a lot of people saying, "Oh, Superman, where are you? Why have you disappeared off the face of the earth? Do a video on this, do a video on that," particularly about H. And really, and I haven't done a video since, what, September? And it really boils down to that I've just had enough, really, of making videos. If you notice the people that are still doing, I mean, not all of them, but most of them, that do cryptocurrency videos, I mean, they're all pretty much just spreading a load of crap that's not true. Or at the very least, spreading a load of crap that makes people act a certain way, or think a certain way, that, something's going to happen. And it more than often ends up not happening. Okay, so there were lots of YouTubers saying, "Oh, it's gonna, Bitcoin's gonna go up to 100,000 and all that stuff, or it's gonna go to 20,000 and yada yada." And the fact of the matter is that we are now in so much of a different market than we were in 2017 and before. In those days, speculative value in real time was really how the market operated. When something looked good, an altcoin, Bitcoin, it would normally go up because the masses would, as a collective, think it was better than worse, and therefore would speculatively buy. But it's no longer real-time speculative value when it comes to the value and prices of cryptocurrencies. What I have noticed really is an increasing dependence on the futures market and futures tools like BitMEX. Binance have launched like 125x leverage in futures, and all these YouTubers that put Bybit referral links, they're just getting people to join platforms like that are futures based, leverage based. I remember back in the day when I used to do videos that I used to have a Coinbase referral link so people could buy Bitcoin, right? Not to leverage trade on Bitcoin. And as a result of it becoming more increasingly futures dependent, what that means is that really the asset that's most at the forefront when it comes to leverage trading is Bitcoin. Yeah, there are some other altcoins, some more major altcoins, but I would say that on the whole it was Bitcoin. And I think that the major thing that's going on right now, and hence why we're at 7,500, is because there is a strong belief of Bitcoin going down to 6,000. And because of the lack of retail interest, because it's increasingly dwindled, and also because of the lack of institutional interest, it's much easier for the volatility to suit, where the masses think the price is going to go. So if they think it's going to go to 6,000 and the price is teetering on a cliff edge of 8,000, then of course it's more likely to go to 6,000 than it is to go to 20 or what have you. And so we see that playing out. We essentially see the camps fighting each other for leverage, thinking, well, there's two camps, obviously, there's long and there's short. And because of the lack of volume, because Bitcoin hasn't really refound 14,000, what happens is that the fight for the long position, for going long on Bitcoin, is more futile, and so people are more going short, and more people are more expecting it to go to 6,000. I mean, people had been previously expecting Bitcoin to go to 8,500, and it took a while for the market to realize that, but eventually it did, because there were, I think, as a collective, more people thinking it was going to go down to 8,500 than go up, even in the wake of backed news. And that just tells me really the sentiment of the moment, which is that everything is really a casualty. All altcoins are a casualty because of Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes down, everything else goes down today. It's a bloodbath. You know, Ethereum was nearly $180 a couple of days ago. Now it's $160, probably falling. People are increasingly taking short positions now, or at the very least, the people who did go short are now even more aggressive. And those who went long are probably, well, have been liquidated out of their positions. Whatever platform they've done the leverage on has swallowed up their money. And it leaves us in the situation we are now. And to be quite frank, I've had enough of, making videos. Because I noticed that, like I said, the people that are doing videos right now are mostly shilling their Bybit or whatever BitMEX referral links to get more people to do leverage trading, because that is where the appetite is. It's certainly where a lot of the interest is. Secondly, altcoins just haven't. There's been an altcoin season expected for years. Since 2017, when futures really came into cryptocurrency with the CBOE and CME. Ever since that point, it's just been a downhill struggle for altcoins. Even in the wake of Bitcoin increasing from 3,000 to 14,000, it's done nothing for altcoins. Really, what needs to happen to reset the mark is for the interest in leverage trading to essentially wane somewhat and for new money to come back. But in order for that to come back, it needs for Bitcoin to hit an all-time high. It will then need, in the come down of Bitcoin, for altcoins then to receive a big cash injection. And then all of a sudden money will flow into altcoins. Will not probably go to all-time highs, although it could on that occasion. But I think that overall, because long term, there's a lot of people who have been watching, my videos for a long time, and they're like, Suppoman, where's your, positive speaking, pearls of wisdom, help us out of this trough. And I can't, because we are so deep in shite at the moment. It's very, very difficult to get out of because of the appetite of the current market. And the current market is very much about leverage. And so therefore, the longer this bearish trend continues on altcoins, and it's been going on for a long time now. It's old news, right? But the longer it carries on, the more chance, the greater the likelihood there is of altcoins being clamped down on for regulatory problems, running out of money. I've got to say that a lot of the ones that I had the most faith in, that have had a lot of money, backed hugely, even those are beginning to run out of steam. The long-established ones, not necessarily the new ones. H is another casualty of what's happened with Bitcoin. Essentially it came out quite possibly at the worst time ever. And of course, with the lack of any interest really in altcoins at the moment, and with the prices dwindling of all altcoins, when a very promising cryptocurrency and a very promising tech, even with high speculative value, comes out in the midst of that environment, it's just going to tank. Because institutional investors that got in at seed rounds and got in at various other rounds, and it's not just H, so other cryptocurrencies that have been very promising. A lot of people expect to do a Cosmos and go from cents to like $6. That was an anomaly. That was a red herring. If H couldn't do it, then it's more than likely most won't. So what that really boils down to then is that nothing is attractive. Altcoins aren't attractive. New projects are not attractive. IEOs or whatever. Nothing at this present time is attractive. And so therefore, it's pointless of me, who's very much an altcoin, or have been traditionally an altcoin maximalist, to bring out videos in this environment. It makes zero sense. All it really could do is push out a load of hopium, which is mislaid, and ultimately people lose more money. I think that we're all guilty of losing a lot of money because we expect at some point, after a lot of bloodshed, that the market will recover, but it just hasn't It's not showing any real signs of doing so, unless something very significant happens with Bitcoin. And at the moment, that is just not in what I foresee is happening right now. You know, it's Bitcoin has to go through a period of struggle. The market, as a result of that, will go through a period of immense struggle before the light. Now, I do have a strong feeling, gut feeling, I suppose, that something big is coming. You know, that I do think that the price of Bitcoin is going to heavily recover. I think altcoins are going to, not all altcoins, in fact probably not very many, but certainly the ones that have all the ingredients of a good business, a community, high speculative value, have not lost a great deal of glamour in the downturn, are going to recover very nicely when Bitcoin does have its recovery. But and I do think it's not too distant away, but at the same time, you know, there is an element of, you know, there has never been a really good time to cut your losses, because everything is so low. In fact, I mean, right now is pretty much at its lowest, or near its lowest, you know, altcoin values, that it seems counterintuitive to sell cryptocurrencies now when you could have sold them, you know, a few months ago for higher. You just kind of think, well, I'll hold on to it. Eventually a bull run will come and it will make the prices spike. And yeah, that will happen to some, but not all. And some, you know, I've certainly considered taking my money out and just putting it into Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, I think, needs to be the first to move before the altcoins move. I don't think there is an altcoin season without Bitcoin being at the forefront of the news, bringing the forefront of the, you know, being pivotal in bringing in new money. They're here of Bitcoin, and then all of a sudden, just like in 2017, it brings a wave of interest to altcoins. And if you disagree with me, then the question you've got to ask yourself is, why would money go to altcoins? Think about it. There's no new money coming in. There has not been in a long time new money coming in. So why all of a sudden would it just come to altcoins, like just out of nowhere? There's absolutely zero reason for it to, you know, because the speculation is low, because everybody's leverage trading, and mainly on Bitcoin. So really, that is the situation. So that is why I've not been putting out anything recently. It's why I don't necessarily see that changing anytime soon either. But I wanted to be transparent and just kind of, you know, let you know where I've been, what I've been doing, why I've disappeared off the face of the earth, essentially, for the last, you know, nearly 2 months. Now you know, this is why. Because I've been putting out videos for a long time. And as you know, prices have only continued to go down, and it gets annoying when you keep on saying, oh, yeah, now's a good time to buy, now's a good time to buy, look at the Satoshi value of this, look at the Satoshi value of that. But it just keeps going lower. There's no upside, there's no gains. And at the end of the day, what are we in cryptocurrency for? There are people who will take the white knight approach, I suppose, and say, oh, I'm in it for the tech, I'm in it for the real reasons, the good reasons, I believe in it. But let's be honest, a lot of us were brought to cryptocurrency because of the massive multipliers, the gains. That's what we've achieved from cryptocurrency, and that's what we want to continue to achieve until adoption comes in, and, you know, eventually it becomes like the stock market volatility. And at the moment, that is pretty much what we have. So, you know, so it seems pointless of me to bring out more and more videos, spreading more and more hopium. You know, if you watch Altcoin Daily or Sunny Decree, I mean, all you see is, oh, yeah, look, this is why the price is going to go up soon, and then the next day it just goes down astronomically. And you just kind of, well, what's the point? You know, I don't want to be another one of those people that views whores, that just after the views after the subscribers, basically getting a group of blind sheep that believe that something big is happening imminently, and it just doesn't. You know, it's been happening for months now, and I've been increasingly frustrated. I don't go on YouTube. I don't look at YouTube videos, crypto YouTube videos. I just watch other videos. I watch, you know, all sorts of things, but not cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is just a cancer at the moment. I mean, it really is. You know, the last 2 years has really been the opposite of what the first, you know, kind of 7 months I was in it were. You know, when I was first in it in March 2017, it was really the beginning of this incredible turbo injection of money and retail interest. And it was amazing. You know, it was a time when, like, for instance, on Twitter today, there's a new cryptocurrency project called Gate Chain or something, I don't know. And I mean, I looked at it, I didn't look at it, but I saw that they followed me, and I clicked on them and saw the new project probably had a couple of followers or whatever. And I thought, well, back in 2017, all people would have to know is, oh, there's an ICO, and bang, they just take my money, take my money. You know, but it's not like that anymore. The people are very, very conservative with money, and that is never a good environment for gains. The time for gains is when there's real greed in the market and fear of missing out. But greed and fear drive those prices right up. And really, that is the time where you make the money. You know, times of greed and fear. And the in-between, as has shown, has just been quite devastating for those of us those of us that have hodled, you know, for the purposes, I suppose, of you know, over the long term making gains, over the long term prices incrementally going up echelon after echelon. Well, that has just proven to be a losing strategy, which of course we were not aware of, because, you know, this downturn is very, very weird. It's been very prolonged and most unexpected, but that is the way that it is. So anyway, so in summary, I'm not making videos at the moment. And I've explained the reasons why, mainly because I don't just want to put out stupid hopium and stuff. I don't want to talk about altcoins, because all that happens is that people may buy them and then subsequently lose money. Also, I don't plan to make any videos for certainly for the near future. So this is really the video, I suppose, that explains all. You know, so, and yeah, no, I'm not living in the Tesla because times are so hard, but I could probably see it going that way. But I mean, it's just a sign of the times, I'm afraid. I mean, look at Neo today. What was it today? They announced new branding for, you know, for the company. Neo now looks, yeah, the logo looks slightly different, the wording looks, the lettering, styling looks slightly different, and it's gone down 3%. You know, Voyager, I mean, that's a complete, or Ethos, completely different kettle of fish. But they've announced some Bitcoin interest program, which, better than Coinbase, means you gain interest, I think it's 3% or something, on the Bitcoins you hold there. Now that is something Coinbase never had, and of course they are looking to be a Coinbase competitor. And even they are absolutely sinking, you know, nearly to its absolute all-time low. Its absolute all-time low was about 2.8 cents. So it's about 4 cents, 4.2, 4.3 cents. So it's a sign of the times. This is how it is. It's very leverage orientated at the moment, not very, you know, not very speculative as a whole. You know, I guess speculation kind of comes into leverage, but not so much. But it just means that altcoins at the moment are really just continuing to fall down the cliff. So really, it's up to you. I mean, like I said, I mean, there are cryptocurrencies that I am looking to sell into Bitcoin that I think are a bit dead. I'm not going to say what, because that's not helpful. And in my position, I can't really do something like that. But I mean, but that is what I'm doing. And as I said, it's a sign of the times, because that's what I believe will happen. Which is ultimately that Bitcoin needs to go up before, well, it needs to go to an all-time high before everything else has a spike. So, unless you're into leverage trading, and, you know, this is how you're making your money, and it is a very difficult way to make money, then really it's a question of riding the storm or selling, you know, ultimately. But I do think that the good times will arise again. I do think that, you know, and cryptocurrency, while I'm not doing videos, is certainly still a field that I'm doing work in. So there we are. So I'd be grateful for your comments. Also, like if you haven't liked the video, and I will see you anon. Oh, it is lights out.